So electric scooters are getting super popular, and there are a lot to choose from. So which one is the best electric scooter? And more importantly, which one's the best one for you? I've been driving around and testing dozens of different scooters, and behind me I have 7 of the very best electric scooters that I could recommend by category. So rather than just going 1 through 7, I want to talk about the best for each category because everybody has different needs. Some people want to ride it for commuting, some people want to go off-roading, some people have a tighter budget, and so whatever your needs are, whatever your interests are for an electric scooter, in this video, I'll be talking about the best one that should fit your needs. So the 7 categories we're talking about in this video are best for commuters, best under $2,000, because some of these do get very expensive, best under $500, so if you're on a tighter budget, best for beginners, best for urban rides, best for long range, and the best overall. So out of these, I want to start off with the best for commuters, a scooter that I've absolutely loved riding, and this has kind of been my go-to for most things around town. If you're going to work, if you're just going to the store, if you just want to go for a casual ride on a trail, this one tops out at 20 miles per hour, which is a perfect speed for most urban or suburban settings, actually rural settings as well. I've ridden this on roads out in the country. And this one right here is the GoTrax GMAX Ultra. This is selling for $850, so by no means a cheap scooter, but you can absolutely tell with the build of this. You're getting 45 miles of range, so easily getting you to and from work or around town if you're going for a ride. You have a nice display on here showing you the speed, the battery level, and other things like that. We have cruise control on here. We have a digital lock, so it's harder to steal. You can't just start riding it and turning it on. And what's really cool about this one, especially for going to a grocery store and you gotta run in real quick to get something, you don't wanna always have a bike lock around. This has a built-in lock. Now, it's not gonna keep people from stealing it overnight, but it should keep people honest if you just have to run inside for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. So the GoTrax GMAX Ultra, a fantastic scooter. I almost gave this best overall, but if you are commuting or just looking to ride around town, this is a fantastic scooter. Secondly, if $850 is a little bit too much for you, you can go with the Turboant M10, which is our best under $500. This is actually under $450. There's always discounts, and I actually have links to all of these in the description below. I talked to the manufacturers. I'm getting some discounts for you guys. So this one right here folds up just like the GoTrax does, but this one's a lot lighter. And with that, you're getting a slightly smaller battery. You're getting about 20 miles of range on here. But again, another top speed here of 20 miles per hour. We're still getting cruise control on here, and overall a really solid deal for the money you're spending. Despite the low price, the Turboant M10 also has a lot of really nice features like cruise control. The display on there reads out your speed. You can see your battery level, it has a headlight on there, and it does come with a little bell on the side. Then moving up to basically another class of scooters altogether. This one's great for off-roading, for trail riding, for riding a little bit faster than the other ones. This one goes up to 40 miles per hour. Our pick for the best scooter under $2,000 is the Varla Eagle One. This one is substantially better than the other scooters. Being a much larger scooter, you have dual suspension, dual motors on here for a smoother and faster ride. You can go up steep hills with absolutely no issues at all. And we're getting not only regenerative braking, but also another mechanical brake on here as well. And you're able to set cruise control on here, choose single or dual motors. Like I said, up to 40 miles per hour, and the range on here is up to 40 miles. So this thing is an absolute unit, great for the money. Honestly, it's selling for $16.99. And again, you might find sales on this as well, but a very, very fast scooter. And you're really not going to find many other scooters that are dual motor with this kind of speed and these kind of specs anywhere near this price point. Now, the Eagle One suspension, I can't emphasize enough, is just so bouncy that when you can really jump around on it. It does make it really fun to ride off-road. If you're going on more of a rocky path or if you're going on some more grass, it is really fun to ride this there. And like I said before, we do have hydraulic brakes on there, as well as regen brakes that you can customize within the interface on here. Has cruise control that you can enable or disable if you never want that on. And like I said, you're really just getting a lot of value out of a very high performance scooter at a much cheaper price than most of its competitors. But of course, no scooter is perfect, and when you're paying less to get these specs, what are the compromises? Well, with this scooter, I found that the steering takes some getting used to. It is a little bit weird, and if you're not used to it, it could be a little bit dangerous, so always start off on lower speeds. Also, it's very important, guys, to wear protective gear, wear at least a helmet. Definitely wear a helmet when you're on any of these scooters. But also, I found that on top of that, the battery meter on here is not the most reliable. So it can tell you that you have, 20 miles of range left or 50% left, but then if you give it full throttle, it'll drop way down to like 1 battery bar. So it's not the perfect scooter, but like I said, if you're trying to get the most speed and a great battery and great suspension out of a more affordable scooter within this class, the Varla Eagle One is a great pick. So while all of these are great scooters, some people also do like riding things like electric bikes instead, which are also becoming incredibly popular. And I will have a video coming very soon about the best e-bikes on the market. If you want to see that one or any other tech videos like this, be sure to go down and click the subscribe button and the bell icon so you don't miss future videos. Now, I don't normally jump to best overall this early in a video, but talking about the Eagle One, if you wanted something that was a little bit beefier, a little bit more secure and a stable ride, then the best overall, this thing is substantially better all the way across the board. Again, this is basically like a car. This is a completely different class. This is none other than the Kaabo Wolf King GT Pro. This thing is absolutely huge. Carrying it around is heavy, so it's not going to be a small commuter scooter, but with that, you're getting really a totally different class of scooter. Going up to 63 miles per hour, you're getting 70 miles of range on here, substantially better brakes. These are very, very smooth hydraulic brakes on the front and on the back. And we can choose between first, second, third, fourth, and fifth gear for both the front and the rear motor. Now, of course, there's no actual gear. That's just the speed, the throttling inside. We're getting a beautiful LCD display on here that you can see, in broad daylight. We also have a sine wave controller, which is giving you more control over your speed. And like I said, this is just a much more stable, a much wider deck. We've got those wide handlebars on the top. There's tons of videos talking about just this scooter alone, and I can't tell you enough how much I enjoyed riding this. Honestly, I don't want to rant too much about this scooter. There's too much to talk about here, but we do have the best headlights out of any scooter I've ever ridden. These things are basically a car headlight. In addition to that, we have the best horn on here. So this is literally meant for riding on the road. If you're riding on the road, other cars can hear you. The horn is basically as loud as a car horn. It hurts your ears. Don't do it indoors. And on top of that, we're getting blinkers on here. We're getting a much taller deck as well. So if you're riding off-road, if you want some off-road tires, you can do that. These are the street tires, so you're getting a little bit more range out of this, but still, I rode this off-road and had no issues with that either. The wide handlebars give you so much more stability on here, and it feels more secure. And overall, just a fantastic scooter across the board. I don't have any complaints about this at all. You can customize everything on board, and it's very fast, responsive, but of course the scooter is also fast as well. So that is our best overall scooter. Moving on to the next category, let's talk about one that is a little bit different. Let's talk about one that's meant just for long range, and maybe you're just riding really far to work, or maybe you just like going on long trail rides, maybe you're riding to your friend's house. That is a slightly different scooter that is a little bit more compact. So the Wolf King GT at the time of making this video is $3,400. So for less than half of that, but still a 65-mile range, the EMOVE Cruiser comes in at $1,499 and is giving you, like I said, that longer range, but also a slightly higher speed than something like the GoTrax, for example, where this scooter right here, you will be getting up to about 33 miles per hour. And so you're kind of getting some higher specs at that lower cost, a lot like the Eagle One. But with this one, you are getting that very, very long range from the large battery deck on here, and it does fold down pretty nicely. So the handlebars fold down, the entire thing compresses so you can adjust the riding height, and with eMove you are able to get an optional seat. So these are both, this one and the Wolf King GT are from For Commuters. Again, links in the description below. This scooter right here also has a key to start it, so a little bit more theft protection there as well. But again, with the EMOVE Cruiser, in that more affordable class of high-end scooters, you are getting some compromises. So with this scooter, the first compromise I found was that it does feel a little bit wobbly, some loose tolerances throughout the build of this scooter. When you're riding it, it doesn't feel bad to me, and you do get used to it, but there are some compromises with that. In addition to that, the motor I found is a little bit loud, and the brakes do feel much less smooth than the other ones. But once you get over those three compromises, the noisy motor, the kind of loose tolerances, and the not so nice feeling brakes, it is a solid scooter that can get you a pretty long distance at a pretty affordable price relative to something like the Wolf King GT. So the EMOVE Cruiser is also IPX6 water resistant, which means that if you're riding through puddles or a light drizzle, it should be protected. And on top of that, another scooter is the Wolf King GT Pro, which is IPX5. But other than that, a lot of these other scooters here don't have an official water resistance rating. So while you should normally be fine riding through a small puddle or something, without that official water resistance, you really do want to be careful with that. But of course, I never ride when it's wet out anyway, because the roads can be very slippery. All right, so those past 3 scooters were for people looking for more speed. But let's say that maybe you're a beginner. Our pick for the best scooter for beginners has a really solid build, nothing rickety about this at all. This is the Xiaomi Scooter S2 Pro. This one caps out at just 15 miles per hour, making it great for not only urban environments when you're on a sidewalk, but also for beginners who might not be too sure about riding quicker. And while the other scooters do have the option to, throttle the speed back down to a lower speed mode, this one does a great job of making it a top speed. So if you're buying this for your kids or if you're buying it for yourself and you just never want to go more than 15 miles per hour, it's a very solid build. It's selling for about $650. I say about because this currently is not available in the United States, but in other parts of the world, it is a very, very popular scooter that people absolutely love. And so I want to give an alternate right here. If you are in the United States, a great scooter for beginners and kind of just a great scooter overall, one of the most popular ones is the Segway 9bot Max. This is a scooter that people love riding, and it's very similar to this one, although you are getting about 18 or 19 miles per hour out of that one. But a little bit more about the Xiaomi Scooter S2 Pro. We have a great headlight on here. We have a brake on the left side. Now, the Xiaomi Scooter S2 Pro has a nice app that integrates with this, so you can control the different settings on here. You can see what your range is and things like that. But I want to say one small complaint about this is while it does fold up very, very nicely, unlike the other ones, it doesn't actually have a hook to hold it down. So when you fold it down, you kind of have to lift the whole scooter from the bottom. It kind of snaps into itself in an unusual way, but if you get the scooter, you'll see exactly what I mean. It doesn't fold down and like link together and make it like a nice briefcase style carrying. But otherwise, very nice handles, very nice deck on here, a very solid build, and I very much enjoy riding this scooter. And now the final category in this video. This is the best for urban riding, but honestly, this one's almost interchangeable with the GoTrax GMAX Ultra, where it has a great range, it has a nice top speed on here, and overall a really nice solid design. This is the Hiboy S2 Max. And this scooter not only has really nice brakes, a nice throttle on here, a very simple color display, not color in the way you think it is, but like different LEDs that have different colors on here, but it also has a nice hook on the inside so you can hang a small bag if you're going to the grocery store, you gotta do some quick shopping. I've really enjoyed using this scooter in a more urban environment. And like I said, it also folds down like we really like to see on the other scooters, and it does clip onto itself. So this one has a top speed of about 19 miles per hour. I found that the speedometer on here is actually very accurate. A lot of the other ones tend to be off by 1 or 2 miles per hour, and you are getting about 40 miles of range out of the scooter. So for riding longer distances, if you're in a city and you go to a river trail and you just want to go for a ride, you can ride for a pretty long time at a pretty comfortable speed without killing the battery on this scooter. So that is the Hiboy S2 Max. Again, I have links to all of these in the description down below, but those are my picks for the top 7 scooters of 2022, honestly 2023 as well. As this list changes, I will leave a pinned comment below with any scooters that may have come out, any updates, and as they come out, I do plan on making some videos about some new scooters. So if you enjoyed this video, consider liking and subscribing. I'm Mike O'Brien. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.